Okay, so this is the part third of our video. This is the third video where we will discuss some early trends and some latest trends. Along with this, we'll also discuss the unit 2 of our CUET PG exam. See, as it says that in the early scenario, there were ups and downs in the levels of questions asked from Indian and British literature. Like some questions were few, some were lot. Like if I talk about the early scenario, then the Indian based questions, Indian literature based questions were low, and the British based literature questions were very high. But now, as we talk about it, almost equal. The British literature and the Indian literature are almost equal, as I have written here. Like that Indian literature and the British literature are almost same to each other. In the early scenario, Indian literature, from Indian literature we used to get only 3 to 4 or 6 questions max, and the main weightage was for your British literature. But now, as we see that the equality between Indian and the British literature is same. NTA gives importance to both the areas very well. And now here we discuss the second unit of Indian writing in English. So in this we will see it's huge. First thing, it's huge. In this we will discuss that whatever happened from British colonial rule, that is from the very beginning, when British came to India, they began colonizing the states. They began doing the free labor. When they actually began colonizing India, from that moment to the modern Indian writing, whatever came before, whatever came in between these two timelines, we have to study everything in unit 2. Then in the second point, we see that how Britishers set up their colonialism, what works came after that. Like I have just told you, that we have to study everything in this. Then the third, we have to study the partition literature and the Dalit literature. I hope you all know that the Dalit literature began by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, and it happens that even though NTA and CUET hasn't mentioned about partition literature and the Dalit literature, but they still ask about it. As I've said, that NTA can be unexpected, and is actually getting unexpected these days. It can ask you anything from anywhere, and the competitions are getting tough every time CUET is happening, whether UG or PG. So this time also we have to brace ourselves, and we have to prepare harder than the 2026 exam, because this year it is gonna be 2027 soon, so it will be even tougher. CUET PG will be even tougher. Even though it's not mentioned, you have to study the Dalit literature, everything about the Dalit literature and the partition literature. And this is the trend that CUET NTA have been asking it since 2 to 3 years. Since 2 to 3 years, you can see that NTA CUET is asking about Dalit literature and the partition literature since 2 to 3 years, since like 2023 or 24. It has been 100% asking about these two topics very, very, very frequently. After this, we have to study about Hindi and Marathi works and some Sanskrit works also. In MCQs, you can see a few questions from all these areas. Like it can ask you that who is the author of this Marathi work, who is the author of this Hindi work. In Hindi work, Premchandra is the very famous one. I think NTA asks this a lot. and after this you have to also study the Sanskrit text like Mahabharata. And I've heard that from Mahabharata very difficult questions also come. So questions from Hindi and Marathi book also comes, and then we have to study the Indian classical literature. And many PYQs are also seen, and in many PYQs you can see the questions from classical literature like Mahabharat, and it comes on a very difficult level. It can ask about any character, it can ask about any text, it can literally ask about anything from this Mahabharat and Ramayana kind of classical text. After that, we also have to study the Tamil literature. Yeah, you have to study all this epics, and you have to also study whatever is in unit 1. And in the next video we'll discuss about the unit 3. Till then, please like, share and subscribe my video.